You have probably heard that the aluminium in your antiperspirant causes breast cancer. I looked into it properly, and I'm going to give you the honest answer in about 90 seconds, not the answer that gets me the most clicks. Because while everybody has been arguing about that one ingredient, there is a completely different word on that label that legally hides up to 300 chemicals, and Congress ordered it fixed 2 years ago. I'm Sophie. I read the labels so the package can't fool you. Today, 9 deodorant red flags, and 4 that are actually worth buying. Number 1 is the one nobody is talking about. So, aluminium. Here's what the actual research says, and I'd rather lose you now than lie to you. The American Cancer Society says there are no strong studies in people linking breast cancer risk to antiperspirant use and very little scientific evidence supporting the claim. The National Cancer Institute says researchers are not aware of any conclusive evidence linking antiperspirants or deodorant to breast cancer. And in 2024, a review that pooled 7 separate studies together found no increased risk. One study that actually measured absorption through the underarm found about 12 thousandths of 1% of the aluminium went in. So no, I'm not going to tell you that your antiperspirant is giving you cancer, because the evidence doesn't. Now, here's the part that annoys me. While that argument has been running for 20 years, it has been very convenient cover for everything else on the label. Let's go read the label. Number 9, buying on the word natural. For cosmetics, natural has no federal definition. None. There is no standard behind it, no threshold, no inspection, and nobody checks it before it goes on the tube. It is a word chosen by a marketing department, printed next to a picture of a leaf. It is not a lie, it just isn't information. And you are frequently paying a premium for it. Quick one, go and pick up the one in your bathroom right now. Does it say antiperspirant or does it say deodorant? Those are 2 different things in law, and I'll show you why in a minute. Just type which one you've got. Number 8, paying a premium for aluminium-free. And I want to be straight because I just told you the cancer link isn't supported. That means you are often paying extra for the absence of something that hasn't been shown to be a problem. But here's the part that actually matters for your morning. Aluminium salts are the thing that reduces sweat. Take them out, and the product is no longer an antiperspirant at all. It's a deodorant. It handles smell. It does not stop you sweating. So a lot of people switch, pay more, and then wonder why they're damp by lunchtime. Nothing failed. You bought a different product. And that brings me to number 7, which honestly changed how I shop for this stuff. Those 2 products sit on the same shelf, in the same shape of tube, at the same price. And they are regulated by 2 completely different parts of federal law. An antiperspirant is legally a drug. It sits in the FDA's over-the-counter drug rules, Part 350, which define it as a drug product applied topically that reduces the production of perspiration. It has an approved active ingredient at a set concentration, and it has to prove it works. A deodorant is legally a cosmetic. It isn't in that monograph at all. It deals with odor, and it faces nothing like the same requirements. Same shelf, same shape. One is a drug, one is a cosmetic. And nothing on the front of either one makes that obvious to you. Number 6, paying up for clinical strength without turning the package over. Because it's a drug, an antiperspirant must carry a drug facts panel, the same little box you get on painkillers. It lists the active ingredient, its percentage, the purpose, and the warnings. Clinical strength is not a regulated percent. Tier, it's wording. The percentage on that panel is the fact. So flip it over, read the number, then look at the regular stick beside it and read that number too. Sometimes it's a genuine step up. Sometimes you're paying a lot of money for the word clinical. Number 5, a baking soda-based formula. If a natural deodorant has ever given you a rash, sodium. Bicarbonate is the workhorse in a lot of natural deodorants, and it's one of the most common causes of underarm irritation. It's not toxic and it's not dangerous, it's just alkaline. Sitting on thin skin, you have probably just shaved. If you switched to natural, broke out, and concluded your body was detoxing, it very likely wasn't. It was probably this, and there are baking soda-free versions of the same idea. And I want to hear this one because I think it's more common than anyone admits. Have you ever switched to a buff, natural deodorant and ended up with a rash or a burn? What did you switch to, and did it settle down? Tell me below. Number 4, buying on 24, 48, or 72-hour protection. The federal monograph governs how sweat reduction is tested and how the active is labeled. It does not create an hours of protection category. Those numbers are a marketing scale, not a legal one, and they are set by the company printing them. Meanwhile, the thing that actually predicts how it performs for you, the active, and its percentage is on the back in small type, not on the front in big numbers. Number 3, not looking at the unit price. This category is one of the worst offenders in the whole store. The travel size and the clinical tier routinely cost several times more per ounce than the ordinary. Stick with the same active ingredient in it. The shelf tag already does the maths for you, price per ounce, in small print under the price. Read that line instead of the sticker price, and this one item can quietly change what you spend on toiletries every year. Number 2, buying entirely off the front of the package. Everything worth knowing is legally required to be on the back of an antiperspirant. The active ingredient, the percentage, what it's for, the warnings, that panel exists because the government classified this as a drug. It is a free, federally mandated source of truth, printed on every single one of them, and almost nobody turns the box over. The front is written by marketing. The back is written by law. Genuine question. And I want the disagreement too. Should a company be allowed to hide 50 or more chemicals behind one single word on a label? Because that's exactly where we're going next, and Congress already answered it, and then nothing happened. Tell me where you land. And number 1, the word that nobody is arguing about, which is exactly why it deserves the top spot. Fragrance. One word, at the end of the ingredient list. Here's what it can be hiding. Under a law from 1966, the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act, fragrance formulas are protected as trade secrets, which means the FDA cannot force a company to tell you what's in them. Around 4,000 chemicals are used to scent products. A single scent can be made of 50 to 300 separate ones, allergens among them, and not one of them has to appear on your dollar's label. Just the one word. Now here's the part that made me want to make this video. In 2022, Congress passed a law called MOCRA, and it ordered the FDA to write a rule identifying which fragrance allergens must be disclosed, with a hard deadline of June 2024. That deadline came and went. The rule was not written. The agency's own agenda now points at a proposal in May of this year, with enforcement realistically 2027 or later. When it finally lands, it is expected to cover around 60 allergens. So it's been 84 years of that word meaning whatever the company wants. Congress said fix it. The visit. Deadline passed 2 years ago. And today, standing in that aisle, fragrance still tells you nothing. So here's the whole thing at the shelf, and it takes about 10 seconds. And that third line is the one I'd tattoo on the aisle. So let's fix your bathroom shelf. These 4 are what I'd actually buy, and full honesty, formulations change. So check the exact one in your hand. Nobody is paying me. The rule is the same as always. The back of the package beats the front. Worth it, pick one. And this is the most useful sentence in the video. Fragrance-free, not unscented. They sound identical, and they are not. An unscented product can still contain masking fragrance scent, chemicals added specifically to cover the smell of the base ingredients. Fragrance-free is the term that means those aren't in there. One word apart, completely different product. Worth it, pick 2, a brand that publishes its full fragrance list voluntarily. The law doesn't make doing it anyway, when they don't have to, is the strongest signal available to you on this shelf. Worth it. Pick 3. An antiperspirant whose drug facts panel you've actually read. You know the active, you know the percentage. And now you can compare it to the cheaper one next to it on equal terms. And worth it. Pick 4. The cheapest one that passes all 3. Fragrance-free, an active you chose at a rest. Percentage you chose. Best price per ounce on the tag. That's it. That's the whole system. So, one breath. The aluminium cancer link is not supported by the evidence, and I'd rather tell you that than farm your fear. Natural has no definition. Aluminium-free means it isn't an antiperspirant. An antiperspirant is a drug, and a deodorant is a cosmetic. Clinical strength isn't a legal tier. The Dove percentage is. Baking soda is probably what burned you. The hour claims are marketing. Check price per ounce. Turn the package over. And fragrance is one word covering up to 300 chemicals under a law from 1966 that Congress ordered fixed by June 2024 and still isn't. Last thing, and this is the one I'll pin. What do you actually pay for yours? And how long does one last? You? Because I suspect the gap between the cheapest thing that works and what most of us are buying is much bigger than anyone realizes. Post your brand, your price, and how many weeks you get out of it, I'll pin. The best value anybody finds. This is opinion plus label reading, not medical advice. So read your own labels too. I'm Sophie, I'll keep turning things over so you keep your money and your health. Subscribe to Sophie Exposes, because next week, I'm going through the bottled water aisle, and there's a word on those bottles doing even more work than natural.